Hey guys, Jesse here, and I was really debating whether or not I should actually make this video at all for two very good reasons. One, I know it's going to get a lot of hate, might even lose some subscribers over it, and two, I tend to like to stay out of these sort of controversies, like in and out of the Gunpla community. I just don't like to get involved with drama, but I feel like this whole Dragon Momoko getting shut down has extended past Dragon Momoko and into the underlying problems of the Gunpla community and the sort of bad attitude that the Gunpla community can have. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, recently Dragon Momoko, a very popular bootlegger, just got sued by China, Bandai of China, and they're more or less out of business. They're pretty much gone. Whether or not they'll come back as another company under a different name, we'll find out. But as for now, Dragon Momoko kits are no longer being produced and no longer being sold. You know, new ones I'm talking about. So of course plenty of people are upset, and I can understand the people who have pre-ordered kits or have bought from them in the past and are just kind of wondering where their money is going to go and what their investment's going to look like in the future. I can understand that. What I can't understand is this sort of like acting the fool when it comes to this whole situation. So let me start from the sort of the beginning. So I first saw the announcement on Samuel Decal, and then I saw Zachary Reyes share that announcement that Dragon Momoko is shut down. They had pictures and everything. And just the comments in those Facebook posts were absolutely pathetic. Like, absolutely pathetic and full of toxicity. And I just couldn't believe what I was reading. And I know some of you might be saying like, oh, that's Facebook for you. But I've seen this in the past with, Reddit, Instagram, and just Facebook as well. Just this sort of attitude of entitlement in the Gunpla community, especially when it comes to, I mean, the Gunpla community is for the most part praised for not having any sort of toxicity in it at all, like no toxic people, no toxic comments. But trust me, you don't have to go far to bring out the worst in people with the Gunpla community. You just have to utter the three magic words: third party sucks. Or if you're like me and you want to call it by what they officially are, bootlegs suck. And look, I'm not saying that you should feel bad for buying bootlegs. I've said this plenty of times in the past. If you buy bootlegs, I have no problem with you buying what you want to buy. It's your money, spend it on whatever you want. What I do have problems with is when you start to act incredibly toxic about it. Like, so for example, the sort of comments I was seeing in these Facebook posts were things like, how dare Bandai shut down Dragon Momoko? Oh, Bandai should think really hard about what they've done. They've made a huge mistake. Bandai, I saw one comment that said like Bandai should be the one to be shut down. Geez. I don't understand why in the Gunpla community, why Bandai, the creator of Gundam and the legal owner of the IP, isn't allowed to protect their legally owned IP. As soon as they do anything to protect their name, people jump on them as being like the devil. And this is the sense of entitlement I'm talking about. When Bandai does well, everyone praises them. When they make a mistake or people consider them making a mistake, suddenly they're the worst company on earth. For example, the Master Grade Justice was released and people were like, oh yay, Bandai, they finally released the kit that we've all wanted and they're the greatest, company on the earth. Look how good the Master Grade Justice is. And then they release something like the P Bandai Hazel Custom and people are like, oh boo, Bandai is the worst company on earth. How dare they release this as a P Bandai kit? And that's the sensible entitlement I'm talking about. Like, as a Gunpla builder, you can do nothing wrong. You are free to criticize Bandai with no repercussions. You can say whatever you want, and whatever you say is the truth. And you can demand whatever you want, and it should be granted. And and if you're told otherwise, the other person is wrong. And that's just not how people should act, I feel, and that's just not how I feel majority of, like I said, this could be the this could be the vocal majority, but the actual minority of Gunpla builders, I have no idea. But I have to believe that there are enough builders at least out there to, upvote and downvote people. And on Reddit, if you say that Bandai should be the only company making Gunpla, suddenly you're just, you get downvoted to oblivion. and I don't think that's right. I'm not saying that it should be upvoted to the high heavens or anything like that. I get accused of being a Bandai fanboy a lot, and I'm sorry that I like to buy my kits from the people who legally own and produce them. But I have plenty of problems with Bandai. You should like my reviews. I scrutinize them all the time. I don't think they're a perfect company. I think they've made plenty of mistakes. I think they continue to make plenty of mistakes. And so I don't think they're perfect, but I think what they produce is an exceptional product, and their kits are fantastic. And uh, I like to support them because they make a good product. I don't know if it should ever extend further than that. Um, it does sometimes with bootlegs, it seems. I mean, I've read and talked to people who seem like they would die for Dragon Momoko. I've seen it go that far. Just and you get threats sometimes. I've gotten threats for supporting Bandai and saying that I don't like Dragon Momoko, and I feel like that's not good. It's not a good reflection of the Gunpla community. So I'm not saying everyone's like this, okay? Like I'm not saying, and if you've acted like this, I implore you to change your attitude, but you don't have to, uh, and I don't have to change mine. So there's that. Um, but again, I just can't believe just how much the Gunpla community has flip flopped. You know, just 2 years back, if this had happened 2 years back and Dragon Momoko didn't have such a fan base, people would say, you know, good riddance, Dragon Momoko is gone, good riddance, we need to get rid of all the bootleggers. But now suddenly it's flip flop. So, I mean, I've said this time and time again, guys. The biggest criticism of Bandai is their P Bandai store. And again, we're not the audience for Gunpla, guys. The North American audience is not the main audience for Bandai. It is Japan. And that's not to say Bandai isn't making strides to get more support in North America. They just had a survey recently asking if we're interested in a P Bandai store. We've been seeing more kits in like nearly every Barnes & Noble now has Gunpla. We're getting more dubbed and translated official releases for Gundam shows. Gundam is coming back in America, guys, and Bandai is noticing it. But if you've ever worked for a company at a sort of corporate level where like decisions need to be made, there's a lot of bureaucracy that goes on there, and Bandai doesn't have some magical button that they can click that just opens the P Bandai store in North America. It takes time, statistics, and risk assessment to find out if even opening a P Bandai store in North America and maintaining one is worth it. And I don't know, maybe like the 10% of the North American population that builds Gunpla is worth opening a P Bandai store. It's up to Bandai. I don't have a say in that, and we as a community do. You know, we get to vote on these surveys and answer them and provide Bandai feedback. So, you know, we show support with our dollars, and when you buy from bootleg, you are taking that support away. If you buy from Bandai and bootleg, then you know I can't really say, you know, either or. But if, like, let's say Bandai releases the MG Providence and you buy the Devil Arts and never ever buy the Bandai one, I don't think you really have I don't really think you have a place to say that Bandai should, you know, should have released blankety blank, because they're not getting money for that sort of future release. If I don't know if I'm getting that across right. uh, Bandai needs money to release kits. Bandai needs money to develop new kits. If you buy purely bootleg, then you can't expect new kits from Bandai to come out as often. I guess there's that. um, I guess one more thing is that a lot of comments I saw, because the rumor is that Daban, which is another bootlegger, ratted out Dragon Momoko, and that's how they got sued. A lot of comments I saw were saying like, you know, Daban should have got the ban hammer. How dare Daban do what they did? Um, Dragon Momoko should. There were comments saying Dragon Momoko should have stayed. Daban should have been taken down. I don't get why one bootlegger illegally producing kits has, you know, gets a free pass over another bootlegger producing illegally made kits, but people feel pretty strongly about it. Um, And it just kind of shows that's just another really poor attitude to have, to sort of start blaming and wanting bad things to happen to other people and companies and stuff. It's just not a great attitude to have. Um, if you have criticisms of Bandai or whoever, you should express them more, I guess, diligently and more sophisticated, in a more sophisticated manner. But we don't see that very often anymore, unfortunately. But I guess those are my thoughts. I don't really have a closing statement or any sort of advice or any. I don't know what to say. I'm just really disappointed with what I saw with this whole debacle. It doesn't reflect the community that I like to associate myself with. So I guess thank you guys for watching. If you have any thoughts or comments, leave them in the comments section below. I don't disable comments, guys. You guys are free to say whatever you want. So I guess I will catch you all next time. Bye-bye.